Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Harvest League 3.11. In this episode, I'm going to be comparing Skitterbots versus the Animate Guardian in our build and what the two serve their purpose in our build and why we are comparing them. So first I'll start it off with why not just stick with the Animate Guardian, why are we looking at to replace it. So in the build, if you've played our Golem, Carrion Golem build, hello guys, how you doing? Good morning. It's 9:36. So if you played our build, we have a helmet with +3 and minion life, and we try to keep our things in our helmet alive, which is zombies, specters, and then normally I also put the Animate Guardian. So through testing in this build with what I like taking without taking too much defenses because the golems are really tanky, so it's only these minions dying, right? And so AG's really squishy, the most squishy he's ever been. And then what's really funny is my AG died on a T16 juiced with Baron influence. So when that happened, I was like, oh, so I can't just use him in general mapping because he'll just randomly rip if I don't look at the mods. I don't know what killed him. I wasn't really paying attention, but clearly you can't just brain dead with it. It's way squishier than everything. It's like as squishy as your zombies, and that's really sad. And that was with 2x gear, so it's gone. And so I was thinking, alright, well, so the main reason, this is to break it down, the main reason we used an Animate Guardian is because if you use the Animate Guardian, you can have a glove on him, which has vulnerability curse on hit, and then he will curse bosses for you with vulnerability, but obviously he's not really AoEing that well, so his clear for vulnerability, applying it isn't great, and so it was really only about single target, and if one thing was too tanky, then it would get hit by the vulnerability from your AG. So general clear, it wouldn't be using it. And then you'd also have the Kingmaker crit multi, Fortify, move speed from the Victorious, fly, do whatever you can to get extra from this Animate Guardian. So it's pretty cool how much an Animate Guardian can buff you. If you're looking for the Animate Guardian gear, I have a video, and on my Twitch you can type !AG in the chat. But anyways, the point about it is that it was too rippy, it costs 2x, it's a hardcore minion, so you lose the gear when it dies, and it's not viable to make it tanky enough to survive in our build. I don't even think it can survive in a build all the way to 1500 delve in a main or Animate Guardian build, like where it's your only minion with Chains of Command, the chest plate where you go Animate Weapon with the Animate Guardian summoning the Animate Weapons. So even with that, I still don't think it survives, and it's like kind of crazy. So the Animate Guardian is out of the build, and so the biggest part about the Animate Guardian that I wanted to gain back if I was going to lose it was vulnerability, the curse, or a curse in general. Just AFK curses is really fucking cool in this game. I love my AFK playstyle where without doing anything, things are consistent, and consistency is good when you lag in the game because you have a shitty PC. So hey, how you guys doing? Anyways, so I started using Profane Proxy on the left ring slot to replace the chilling Skitterbot aura. I started running Skitterbots. Skitterbots does not need to be linked with generosity. I just did it because it looked nice. Anyways, so I socketed vulnerability, and when you do that, then it'll apply the curse instead of chill. And so my Skitterbot, one of them is this red little circle, and then there's a big circle around him, and then level 30 vulnerability as well because we're 2 cold iron points and the Ami. And so you also get the increased physical damage, the chance to maim cursed enemies, bleed, and then the physical damage taken over time on the bleed, and so this is the vulnerability from the AG, but instead of level like 10 or 12, it's 30. Is that good? Yeah, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. And then it's way more consistent too. So this is what you're gonna find immediately. The Skitterbot is probably the most aggressive minion you have. Not joking. They made it the best AI. It finds the enemy first. It's one of the fastest. It's crazy. The only reason that the Carrion Golems might outpace them is the Leap Slam and the range that the Carrion Golems have, but usually Skitterbot auras in time to give a big vulnerability to a whole pack, and so it's a huge improvement actually from the Animate Guardian. Oh yeah, so now the Skitterbot doesn't take any damage. It can't die. It doesn't have armor. It doesn't have gear. It can't lose 2x every time it dies. And you know what the best part is? We actually, this whole time in the life build, we're running Pride, Dread Banner, Waken Generosity, and then we were running Purity of Elements. But if you can cap your reses, which especially with Harvest League, it's really easy to fix your items with Harvest. I still have tons of extra slots. It's really crazy. I could min-max this way more. But anyways, the vulnerability, and so I ran Skitterbots instead of Purity of Elements, and then it gained me the shock effect, the more damage, the vulnerability, makes up for the Animate Guardian. Then I gain an extra gem slot in my helmet so I can run, for example, Elemental Army. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, man. Pretty happy with all this. The next thing, guys, is so that's pretty much the main reasons. And then what's my take on it after doing it? I actually really like switching out the Animate Guardian and going to Skitterbots, and I'm going to use Skitterbots, and I'm not going to switch back because getting an AFK curse like this is really powerful, and there's only like a few ways to do this in general. So the other way would be you get a Merveil's Retainer. It's a Spectre. I mentioned it in my support Spectre video. You can get it from a map with a Sea Witch mod, and so Merveil's Retainer will curse like level 50 vulnerability. Especially with Blood Magic, it'll spam its ability just like all the Spectres. It's pretty funny how you remove their mana cost and then they go crazy. But yeah, that one's pretty cool, but it's really squishy and will die, and if the rest of your stuff is dying, then it's going to die even more. That was my point. It's unusable because it's too squishy. So it's just too bad. But for vulnerability, like, it's insane, the damage boost. Technically, instead of like a host chieftain, it's technically better if you don't have an automatic curse in the build, if you can keep it alive. But then you also have to be at mapping, and yeah, by then maybe you can do something, or you can just cast vulnerability or punishment. You could also use punishment in the ring. I guess I didn't actually look technically which curse was the best. I just used that one because it was the one I had on the AG, and I wanted to directly replace the AG, but I should really look in the POB which curse I should be using, since I can apply any curse I want. I'm going to do that now. I'll edit this in. Alright, I think this is going to be really funny. Let's do this together. Let's go to the other screen. Okay, so what we see here is probably pretty funny and interesting. So here you have my vulnerability, and it makes it level 30, and this is the damage. Now when you take it out, 951. It was 110. Next, check. What's the next one we could put in instead in this ring? Ooh, punishment. A viewer mentioned this. Why not punishment, Ethan? Well, let me look. Cursed enemies take 40% more melee fizz on melee hit. 29% attack speed buff is applied for a base duration of 11.9. Cursed enemies have minus to physical damage reduction. Yeah, it's more by 50k, so why the fuck aren't we using this? I totally agree with my viewer. This is what happens a lot, guys. I make a change because I mentioned why I made the change. I wanted to still have the curse to replace my Animate Guardian, and I was just thinking about that, and I tunneled, and then my viewer pointed out that punishment is actually better, and I'm big bad. So let me fix that. Got a surge. 40C, dude. 40C. How good is it with an extra level? Okay, dude. let's buy it together, chat. I mean, my video. A 2123 for 50C, a 2120 for 55C, 2123 for 30 GCP. Dude, can one of them reply? That's all I want. 70C for this one. 2123 again for 70. Oh, here we go. We got one. 30 GCP, 2123. Let's do that one. That's that one, right? Yeah. Now they all replied. Oh my god. Let's get the punishment together. And then, yeah, this is basically sums up why people, if they still have their Animate Guardian, they can keep using it. If it dies, then now they know the option. They don't need to use the Skitterbots until they get the death on the Animate Guardian. Boom. Punishment. Much better. Big improvement. Huge damage boost. The better curse, of course, you all know. We're ready to go. Now we are set. We're off to the races. That was really cheap to buy. Harvest League is going crazy. I already know we have way too many of these things. You need to farm so many T1s. It's pretty crazy. I have so many of these. Yeah. Either way, question to you guys is, should I play SSF now, or should I stick to playing trade? Because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm just doing the repetition stuff, where I should just, if I'm going to be investing this much time, I should just do this in SSF, and then get real progress towards doing it for the first time. And then anything I do in SSF is super fucking cool because it's the first time. Either way, yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all the support. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today and learning about the Skitterbots versus Animate Guardian. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon and my YouTube members, and thank you to anyone new who joins today. I couldn't do this without you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!